Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running for the State Assembly in District Number 4 because now more than ever it's time to put people before politics. In 2008, that message, more than anything else we talked about, resonated with people throughout our community. Whether talking to people at our events or on their front porch, people understood the notion that the public interest has been hijacked by politicians and strategists who are more concerned with power than good public policy. So, here's the bottom line. I get it. People want nothing more than to brush off the old tired labels that keep us from working on issues that matter most to hard-working families in Wisconsin. We need to create more jobs. We demand a cleaner environment. Our state can better protect our natural resources. We must keep our sacred commitment to educate our young people and empower them with the tools necessary so that they can be successful. We ought to advance our commitment to improve the infrastructure of the state through better roads and safer bridges. These are the issues that affect the everyday lives of people in Allouez, in Ashwaubenon, in Pere, and in Green Bay, and the future of our entire state. And frankly, most people agree on them. I want to be clear. I'm not the first person, and I certainly won't be the last, to make people, not politics, the central theme of a campaign. However, in an electoral climate that is as volatile as ours, it is entirely easy to see why people are frustrated by both politics and by politicians. Who can blame them? When politicians make big promises and don't deliver, or only deliver on pieces, even your most loyal supporters will be disappointed. And our friends on the Republican side have at many times been more concerned with heaving criticisms than picking up the hose to put out our country's economic fire. Scoring cheap political points on the backs of the unemployed and at the expense of the long-term prosperity of this nation is abhorrent. And most people around here know that if your neighbor's house is burning down, you help pick up the fire hose and help out even if you don't like everything about your neighbor, right? Our continual need to put people over politics continues to be a vital theme even 2 years later. As any person knows, often truth can be stranger than fiction. And what will bring us together at one point, like change, can suddenly change and cause hope and optimism to fade and be replaced by fear and by doubt. I'm running for the State Assembly because I believe it is even more important than ever to put people over politics, and for our state to rise above classic partisan warfare and to work on protecting the integrity, strength, and prosperity of our communities. We need leaders, true leaders, who focus on the real issues, where most common sense Wisconsinites agree, instead of waging partisan battles to score political points. We need public servants. We need public servants who are willing to employ the same strategies that our small businesses and entrepreneurs take to create thriving, innovative enterprises. They recognize the strategic need to set standards for what they offer their customers. And we must demand that our state government set realistic goals and expectations so that voters can clearly and effectively evaluate whether or not they have measured up. So in that spirit, I want to give you my word that number one, I will always pledge to put people over politics. I've said it over and over and over again, and I will continue to say that no political party has a monopoly on good ideas. I'm a fiscal conservative and a social progressive. So no caucus chairperson, no governor, no party leader can ever claim me as a straight party vote. A blind devotion to party certainly doesn't respect the voices and the views of a diverse constituency, and it certainly isn't good or conducive to good governance. Number two, I propose and will support legislation that will empower the production of clean energy jobs and that will help stimulate the creation of new small business throughout our communities across the state. Number three, I will help to harness the creativity of our visionary local entrepreneurs like Jim Rivet, who seek to usher in a new era of progress and energy for small business in this community, whose goal it is not just to make a profit, but so to reinvest in its most awesome potential. I will support giving our local leaders the tools to enable bold new visions for business, allowing this area to capitalize on the strength of our workforce. Number 4, I will work to restore passenger rail service to this community. I will engage with local, state, and federal leaders to do so. This is an area where we can't only offer service to Madison, but assure that Green Bay and the Fox Valley's interest in this economic endeavor is sustained. Number 5, I will propose and support legislation that dramatically purges our election system of its current flaws, allowing money to seep in all across the board from special interests. We deserve candidates who have great ideas who may not be politically well connected. We need them to come to the table. We can't afford to let mediocre talent with tons of cash to run the show. For far too long, this community and other communities around the state, their reputation has been tarnished because of backwoods provincial politicians that are well-connected and well-funded from outside their district. Some of you might have seen that article in the paper or heard on NPR today. $2 out of $3 for most representatives comes from outside of their district. They're well-funded. Too often these politicians can languish in office for years, leaving the people with a deficit of leadership and a fiscal hangover even after they're out of office. So here's the message. I get it. I get that people don't trust government, especially when we're set up to argue about the same old nonsense every 2 or 4 years. I get it. I get that people expect the state to do what it is supposed to do, empower our local leaders and communities, build safe roads and bridges, and protect our families from everyday threats. We need a government that lives within its means and that plays by the same rules that each and every one of us do. I get it. Voters all over this country and in this state are tired of the same standard boilerplate politicians who offer platitudes and promises. They offer tired old ideas meant to stir your passions with no real intent to achieve what they say for fear of losing re-election. It's true. We're tired of career politicians who put politics before people and the hardworking families of the people in this district. That's not me, it's never been me, and my record shows it. I promise you that. What I can offer you is this. I'm a product of this community through and through. I am dedicated to finding a better path forward, to putting people over politics. And you'll see the buttons that we've got that say that much. I won't make everyone happy all the time, but I can promise that I will strive to see the big picture. I will always do my best to serve the larger public interest, even if it is at odds with my political interest. And here's the thing. My opponent and I have very different backgrounds, and I intend to ask the voters of this district which they prefer, a well-connected Washington insider in Madison, or their next-door neighbor who has advocated local issues, represented the people here in our community, and worked in our schools. I've worked as a teacher at NWTC. I've been a paperboy. I've dished out custard at Zesties across the river. I've been a busboy at Applebee's. I've sold phones for Sprint, and now I'm a proud employee of my alma mater, St. Norbert College. And you know what I've learned from these experiences? It's that people respect dedication. They respect hard work. If you immerse yourself in any job and take the time to learn it, you can accomplish anything. I've got years of work in the private sector, and my opponent, a Republican, who will no doubt champion the virtues of small government, has worked on the taxpayer's dime for the majority of his adult life. So, here's the deal. The choice, my friends, will be up to you. And the only way this campaign can succeed is with the help of people like you. Thank you so very much for coming.